but by heck it's wet. Grass at this time of year is so tender, once you've hammered or rolled it, you want to leave it on its own.
Good morning everyone, if you have not already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, ring the little bell and get notifications of my videos every Tuesday, Friday and sometime we hit the Sunday video. Something really exciting going on today. Full disclosure, me and Dad checked it out yesterday, but today we're going to talk through what's going on. From the title, probably have learned
what we're planning to do with it. Whether it works out or not, we'll have to wait and see.
We have decided to grow a little bit, take a little bit more on, and you're about to see that right about now.
So I'm digging this side of the thing because it was flooded at the top, and then hopefully when we get the jetter here, we can jet down to this 6-inch main, or if it's not clear, we'll jet up to the pond. So it'll go there, it'll go. Trust me. But it's like everything, it's constantly, you're on it all the time. You know, draining is just not a one-off. It's every year there's another little bit that wants renewing or replacing, or a new place where it's become a wet shop, and you just got to keep nicking away and keep it on top of it, and then it doesn't become a chore. It's just a regular maintenance routine job.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it open. Oh, okay, works for me. So what I'm going to do is drive the drone and be chatting at the same time, so you kind of can see where we're going up to and what's going on.
This field we've had for about 4 years now, and we know there's a drain problem there, which we'll sort that out hopefully next couple of days. Drainage.
So the field we're in right now is we class it as our big field, the field that we ploughed the 3 acres up and tidied up, and we made do, and that grows some good grass now.
Yeah, well, it's new grasses, new grass seeds. So,
and what you can see us doing now is we are turning left. There's a random tree there. We are turning left. We have lost about 30 acres and we've gained about 50, so we kind of swapped what we're doing. So you can see we're just about going in this awkward shaped field. You can see where the shooters have been going to the pond. We're going to work with the shooters, I'd like to think. I just have a chat with them, and we don't really want them going through the field. I'd rather them go down the side where we're not going to mow and where it's going to be nice and smooth. The issue they got there was from last year, not this year, was it? Last year's issue. We're just trying to make them a bit work with us so we don't have to mow through it. That's the idea, isn't it?
You can see where I've already put till on this field. I've not put as much on as I would have liked, because this had no slurry, no muck, no nothing. I could have put a little bit more on, but I was actually running out of fertiliser at the time, so I made sure the whole field got a covering, and the other field we're renting, which is not quite as good as this. But this is on a hill, this. It should never hold water. It should never ever be puddled, as in puddles, but by heck it's wet. When it does rain, it does hold a lot of water. But this field's started to grow now. It's heavy ground up here. It's on a bit of a hill. I know it's heavyish ground soil, but this one's rolling. Just flattening out, making tiller before the grass grows anymore. But we've chanced. This has had fertiliser on for a fortnight, and it's just started to green up. There's a great big pond in the middle of this field. It's funny how the pond is on top of the hill. That tells you in days gone by this pond will be fed by a spring. Even though it's on top of the hill, the spring will be feeding this pond, and it's a bigger.
This field we think we're going to mow, would you say?
Yes, we're definitely going to mow it. It's not for grazing at the moment.
You can see that it is quite an awkward shaped field. It's kind of like an L-shaped field with a pond in the middle-ish.
But it's right on nearly the highest point of the field, the pond. And unfortunately, a lot of the water, if you look down to where we're parked now, towards where the other land is that we haven't taken on, where the horse people are, they have a major issue with the top water, plus all the other field water running out of the existing farm. We haven't cured it yet, but
well, we've got a bit of that, haven't we?
We've got a bit of that. The field in front we've got as well, which will be a lovely field to mow, long and thin. However, that big water flooding is sort of like digressed into the field we're renting, and we'll have to take that on the nose until we sort the flooding out. Tells me there's a drain there.
Go on, keep going, so the people can see it through the camera. Just a bit of a dip there, bit of a drain.
Tell me someone's been out, dug that up at some stage, and there must be some issue, even if it's from the pit. Runs from the pond down. But this is a nice big long field, not as good a grass. This is probably more permanent pasture. Again, it's just greening up because we've had the fertiliser spread on it.
For 2 weeks, haven't we?
Yeah, 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks. and it had nothing on when I came on. It was bare, but the bottom end of it, as you can see, there's a great big flood. But the new farm owner, the contracting lads, they're addressing it. Now this field will be first for mowing, and if we can get it fenced before we let some cattle out, it can then become a grazing field. But we need to sort that flooded area out.
Oh yeah, you can see that we've got water issues, and it's not just us on our farm, it's like all farms have got it. This land, we're thinking all this land needs sward lifting back end of next year.
Yeah, if we get the chance, we'll do it.
We'll roll this field to start with. It's getting too long to slit now, isn't it?
Yes.
Really? Might be worth slitting after second or first cut even. Yeah. Or, like I say, if we're doing the sward lifting, we'll wait till sward lifting do it.
Wait till the back end, and we'll get it sward lifted, the whole field, and let them sort the drains out first if we can this summer, and then at least there's somewhere where the water can go.
They're working with us, aren't they?
Yeah, working with us. This is one of our main drainage ditches in the area we're approaching now, which affects over the little brook, over the stream, Ligard Brook it's called. And that's a field we've rented for many years.
Yeah, that field is the field that you can just see now. You see Ligard Brook's on the left of it, and then the field of ours is on the left of that, if that makes sense. And
I've had flooding issues in there, mainly because the brook's been so high, and this is where you can see from here how it's down. That's what, a foot? It's gone down a foot.
Show you. I don't know if you can just see that.
It's been underwater to that level all winter, and that level is near enough, it won't drain my field, and the drain end that comes out is blocked, because again in the past contractors have taken the swoop off it and blocked it, but we'll sort it out when the jetter comes.
One field with a pond in, we've got a long straight field which we are in now. Just having a look now. I like this field. I think it'd be a nice mowing field if it didn't have that little bit of a
wet shop.
So you can just see that field now. If it didn't have that bit of a damp bit, it'd be a good field. This just needs a little bit of looking after. It's like the fields that we've had for the past 4 years, 3 years, fourth year now. They're doing really well now. We're happy with them. Obviously they've got a few issues with them, but we'd like to think they're doing well. That field that you made a mess in muck spreading on Valentine's Day,
yes,
that field is a completely different field to what we started with.
Absolutely, yeah.
You put muck on it,
sward lifted it, that's helped a lot.
And that field is a cracking field. We used to put like 11 cows on it, didn't it? Yeah. And that used to be on top of it, and we didn't want to put any more on. Now we put like 20 on last year. This year it should be growing grass. It was greener than anything else that we had in because of that muck. It was growing really well, so we're well happy with what we've been doing, working hard. It just shows like that effort and that time we put into it has really helped.
Just upsetting this bit of a damp area here. There's some drains that are obviously not getting away, and it's important at some stage we find them.
If you can see it, sorry,
I'm trying not
it's hard to film everything. That there, just around that wet patch, it's holding water, and it's holding water all the way around it. So that is something else needed to address, but these lads are working hard on fixing the water issues as well. So we're working with the new farm owner and the lads there, work with them really closely, and that's kind of how the relationship has grown. He's been really good to us, we're really good to him, I'd like to think.
I hope so. He appreciates that we're trying to put as much effort into it as he is for himself, and we are, and we want to get it back right and get it back to serve everyone and be productive.
That's what we're trying to do, and I'd like to think we've done that with the land that we've won for the last 4 years. So we've got those two fields that we have given up. I don't know if some people are like, oh, you shouldn't chat about this, you shouldn't chat about that. I have no idea. So you know where we normally go right towards the crematorium, and it's got that foam mast in it. That's the field that we've given. Those two fields there we've given up and taken these 3 fields on. Doesn't make really no difference travel time really. No. This one's got a bit more travel time than this big one that we've taken on, and a few more issues. Those first field we went into is fenced pretty well, barbed wire all the way around it. Second field is okay, but it needs barbed wire where the horses are, because on that horsey bit there's no barbed wire, so the cows are going to put their heads over. And third field, we are in the third field. The third field is quite a big field. I've got no idea how many acres it is. It's
going to be 25, 30 acres, I think.
For us, that's a big field. That's a lot of acres. That's your pills.
trucks.
We've only got one more, the one that's 25-acre field, that big field of ours. They are that we rent. This field has gone sour, hasn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going to tip it a little bit down, so sorry if you see our crotches a bit more. But you can just see there's a lot of bare patches in here. It's fenced well where we're going now, around the left-hand side. When I say fenced well, it's got sheep netting and barbed wire, which works well for us.
A lot of mole activity.
A lot of mole hills.
It's very thin in the bottom. If you can see from the top, it looks very yellow as well. It's had no fertiliser. It wants some feeding.
There's a new
mole hill. So, and also it's been very wet in the winter. It's been absolutely thing. So really, what we're looking to do with this field is get some fertiliser on, give it a good harrowing, and see how bad it is. Then we may come with the slitter and let some air into the roots, because the roots will be, where it's had all this water stood, and there is places where it's stood, it'll be really, really sad and yellow and, you know, not really thriving. So we'll slit it and then put the roller on, but the roller won't fill the slits, it'll still allow air in. Slitting's is more important nearly than rolling it, because here it's almost like panned on the top. It's like creating a seal, so the air can't get into the roots. So the bacteria.
What would be a good piece of kit for it? Remember that big roller that we had?
Yes,
that had
borrowed.
Yeah, borrowed off. Yeah, the roller that we had with the slitter on it.
Sheep through there.
Sheep are getting through there as well. That one's fancy. Just changed the battery on the old drone, and from the sky you can see that it's quite yellow and patchy. Dad's staying there, he's got bad knees. But here you can see how bad it is. It's so bare, there's just not a good sward of grass like on our farm. There's a great sward of grass on that side there. It's just, this field is wet. As you can see, it's still holding water and just needs a bit of TLC, doesn't it, Father?
Yeah, it's very thin in the bottom. Some of the like Italian grasses have grown, as you can see, and you pointed out. There's no bottom grass in this field at all, and there's no carrying capacity. Nothing's been on it all winter. They've not put any muck on, they've not put any till on or anything. Now we've an interesting hole here. This is an interesting hole. Now that one's digging out because something tells me there may be a drain to there. It's bubbled up, so we'll have an explore in that hole. This is totally new land to us, and when you see land like this, even though it's rented, appreciate how good your own is at home with constant work and whatever. But if that's a decent drain there, which it could be, maybe the answer to that puddle there. So a little bit of investigation in the next week could lead to an awful lot of goodness. But the whole field, it's so thin, there'll be very little crop off this first cut, but we're not going to go mad and start doing any reseeding until the field's dry. And
you know it's dry.
We know it's dry, because there's no point in putting a plough in and then having to go and drain it after. It may be a next autumn winter project, quite a big project, if we can get to know where the drains are. There's a bit of a line here, as though there could be a drain. See the difference in soil there? And while it's so poor, you can pick these things out, and it could easily lead to us finding the root of all evil, which, you know, once we've got the blockage done, cleared, see where it's yellow and it's been holding water all winter, we might get a decent crop of grass off it.
Are you not going around it?
No, I'm not going around to that. We know it's wet under the wood.
The water trough's holding water.
The water trough looks alright, it's not leaking. Where there's rushes over in the far corner, it tells you how wet it is. This wet area here, there is a ditch just the other side of the track that I would say that could drain into. All the land drains this way, drains away from the hall all the way down towards the Liggett Brook. So if there's where that hole is, if there's anything there, wants a little rooting, if I get a digger, I'll have a root, and we could be a heck of a different job.
Look at that. What is pretty cool about this field, Dad's just gone past it. So Lytham Hall is just there. You'll see it in that shot. The tractor's just gone past. Can't wait for the drone shots of chopping grass with that. It's gonna be amazing. So Lytham Hall is a
Georgian mansion
owned by
Lytham Friends of Lytham Trust. Was given to them from the BAE when they pulled out they bought it off Guardian Estates, and they bought it BAE, and they gave it to Lytham, Friends of Lytham. There's always going to be a community hall for use for the community, and also to be self-funding if it can be.
It's a big charity, isn't it? I think they have over, I think they have about 250 volunteers over. It's really, really cool. It's run by Peter, Anthony, and
Paul.
Peter and Paul. It's run by
Peter and Paul.
Peter and Paul, really good guys. They've worked so hard on it with the team as well, and it's fantastic. If you look at it, look at that shot. How good's that shot?
Lots of volunteers.
Lots of volunteers. So I thought it was really, really cool. That little bit of history. We can talk about that later on if you guys want to know about the history of where I live in Lytham St Anne's. It's a really, really nice place. I just thought that was a nice little feature of this field. It's just a shame the field isn't growing lush grass as we'd like. Yes, it hasn't had a till on. That's going to be a big thing. It does need some muck. It needs a lot of attention. Give us 2-3 years with it and it'll look like a different field.
It'll look a different field in 3 months. If we can find the drain issues, and this was a wet shop here, it's awful that, you know, but it's got a lot of time to dry out between now and siloing. Plan is to get some fertiliser on today, Thomas's job, then put our heavy chain harrows on and get it harrowed where we can travel best, and then we may slit it.
I think slitting is going to do a good job more.
Yeah, we'll let the air in, but we don't know how to get the dead grass out, and all these molehills want levelling as well before we go in with a silo machine, and then we roll it. We've put the till sower, so we're giving it a reasonable amount. I might just tweak it up a bit because this field needs feeding. We need to feed it.
Those two fields look good. We've got a bit of work to do. Again, with the team that's here, they're doing a lot of work every day, 5 days a week. They're absolutely smashing it. But then we've got a lot of work to do here. Dad, the mole ploughed all paddocks as well. Because
all these horsey paddocks bar one.
You can just see the one on the left that looks the worst.
Full of water.
He couldn't get through it. We are increasing the farm size. Rightfully or wrongfully, I don't really know. We had the opportunity to do so. We've taken it with both hands, we'd like to think. There's a lot of work to be done here. We're willing to do it, and it's going to be a bit of a challenge probably to start with, but it's just there to be done, isn't it, Dad?
Yeah, it's nice to be able to work with these people, because even though they're not fully fledged farmers, they're learning a lot.
Working together, aren't we?
Working together.
That's how things work, and that's how farms and communities should work. So
well, you'll be able to see when we go up the track and see the difference of the field that we've had for 2 or 3 years.
There's still plenty of field work to do. We've done some harrowing. We've not really had to do loads, have we? This field that we're just getting to, that we had stock out for too long, was a little bit annoying. Yeah, but the shed just wasn't ready yet, was it?
No, it shows on the field. It desperately wants rolling. Well, it's just soft enough so the rollers can find it. It's growing now, don't get me wrong, it's doing alright. It made a difference that muck we put on in February.
Oh yeah. You can see that this is actually could have done with some muck, couldn't you? Yeah. So guys, that is going to be the end of today's video. That is us having a look around. That's where we came in at. So we rented 3 more fields, but we've dropped 2. We've actually up about 20 acres, but there's a bit of work to do in them. But we'd like a bit of a challenge. It's going to take a bit of work, but give it a couple of years. Dad says 3 months, it will look a hell of a lot better. I just thought I'd let you know, because the minute I get drawn up with this, oh, mowing this field, people will ask questions. A lot of people know that where we farm, so I just thought I'd let you know. Everywhere else seems to be growing well. Grass is definitely changing, which is bang on. It's just a bit cold at night, isn't it?
Cold at night.
I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you have a great day. If you could, please give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya. Bye.